superstar Charlotte Flair, also known as the Queen, and listen to Wrestling POV podcast, and always do it with Flair. Woo!
Wrestling POV content may not be suitable for some audiences. Your discretion is advised.
Hi all, and welcome back. Today we have a luxurious spotlight with Dusty Rhodes, a spacious name that's stable, and an antique comment from the legendary Undertaker on today's men. All this and more with our hosts Antonio Diaz, Ricardo Serrano III, Elio Canella Esquire, and Miguel Cole. It's a new episode of the Wrestling POV podcast. Champagne wishes and caviar dreams.
One more week for the Royal Rumble, huh?
Yes, royally.
And I'm glad that we have the very talented Robin Leach doing
Something like that.
Oh, is this where we're at now?
I think so.
I mean, you know, that's good.
It's all right. Yeah.
I wonder who we're going to have next week. Oh my word! I can't. I mean, I'm happy about the Royal Rumble, but then I'm not happy.
Yeah. I feel you.
You know.
I feel you.
Same thing with you guys. Yeah.
So are they still doing that with no fans, or?
Yeah. No, they're not doing fans. They decided last minute not to put fans in there.
How are you gonna do Royal Rumble without fans?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. And then it's just like. We all know they're going to add the countdown, the fans counting down. That's going to be added in.
Yeah, of course it is.
But I'm not even upset about that. I'm more like just on the fence about who's going to win. Like, it does like there's no names. Like, normally you're like, yo, anybody can win. This year, it just seems like, well, is it going to be Daniel Bryan, Shinsuke Nakamura?
Exactly, yeah.
Would you read Adam Pearce's tweet?
No.
He said, well, for the Royal Rumble, those who have declared for the Royal Rumble, it's fine. The rest that didn't have to earn their spot.
Okay, when are they going to do that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, next week? I mean, it's the go-home show.
No, he tweeted this like I believe a week ago or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Suck it out of Pierce. Weird. Who cares? I mean, I really don't understand this thing with Adam Pearce. Like, people really are just like, he's an NWA. Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. Come on.
I didn't even know that, to be honest. I didn't, you know. So, I mean, are we all hating Adam Pearce now? Is that what it is?
I mean, especially after he hit Tom.
He hit Tom, yeah. Well, it's just like what Chris, what's his name, when he did to you. And do we all got we got to hate him too?
Yes, of course.
Okay,
Chris Michaels.
Right. So we hate Adam Pearce and we hate Chris. Sure.
Unless he wants to come on the show, then.
Well, if he wants to come on the show, then we'll forgive him. And you know, Tom might not like that, but or TJ. Sorry. All right, let's get on with the show. Spotlight, Rick.
Yes.
Why did you pick Mr. Dusty Rhodes?
I mean, after last week where we were I was trashing the Dusty Rhodes Classic. I just can't understand why they would make a tournament for him. And I just said, yo, let's see. What are some fun memories of Dusty Rhodes? What do people think of him? Because honestly, I'm from the generation where it's American Dream. He's just a common man.
That's where I'm going,
Rick. We need to go on the road.
Yes.
Did you hear that tone?
Exactly. Yeah, you need to go on the road and get run over by a truck.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Okay. But yeah, I think that's where I'm coming from. So I don't have this whole thing where everybody else is just like Dusty Rhodes is the greatest. No, for me, he was polka dots and he was dancing around the ring. That's where I'm at with Dusty Rhodes.
No, see,
Now,
I don't like that's a memorable thing for Dusty, I guess, but that wasn't mine. Mine was way back in the day with NWA and the feuds that he would have. It was just awesome. I love Dusty in that. But then again, I didn't know the wrestling business as I do now. And to come to find out that he was the booker for a lot of that stuff, it was like, am I seeing deja vu with Cody now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and it's the thing. That's the thing, though. When you look at Cody, when you look at Cody and you look at Dusty was that common man. Cody is like this good-looking dude who's in shape, but Dusty was a guy who was just like, can he really beat Ric Flair? Like, look at Ric Flair, look at Dusty. How can this oversized guy actually win this match? So it's just like, and Dusty brought out the fun, like for my generation of people. He brought out the fun in wrestling. He was dancing around, doing a lot of cool things. Yeah. But when you compare him to what Cody is doing, Cody's booking is just unbelievable. I was supposed to believe in Cody, but Dusty was the hard worker. Dusty was that common man. Yeah. He was us. He was the fans. Yeah. Cody is a suit. This is just makes.
I agree with you. But like I said, for Dusty, for me though, it's more or less. I remember more of Dusty's career before he became that common man with the polka dots. But at the same time, I did like the character too, because it did gravitate towards a lot of people. I mean, Christ, he grabbed Sapphire. And that was true. That was real. That he grabbed her to make her his valet. I mean, who does that? You know what I'm saying? And it was really cool to see that gimmick. And Sapphire too added much more to that gimmick too, with her dancing, and she just had a love for Dusty Rhodes, man, and I could see Dusty, that's right, baby. I don't know, for me, I think Dusty, he set the tone for a lot of people too. There's really, I can't think of any wrestler right now that's almost like him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, there's nobody like him. No. Elio, what are your thoughts with Dusty Rhodes? What is like one big memory that you have of him?
So like you, I only heard the name Dusty Rhodes. I saw pictures from magazines. So, but like you, I remember more of the polka dot wearing and dancing around the ring. But really? I have seen like videos of him on YouTube, some of his matches and his Hard Times promo. So some of those were really great as well.
Wow. Yeah. That I'm shocked to hear that from you, Elio. Really am. From the polka dot era, huh?
Well, I only because I only ever saw pictures of him from the magazines.
The magazines, yeah. And
I never got to see like any of his matches back then.
Yeah, well, it was hard to see those matches too back then. Even
though we got NWA for like a short while here around like '88 or something like that.
Oh, really?
It aired like Sunday afternoons at like 3 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, why would I be inside watching wrestling when I can be outside? It's beautiful weather.
But you tell him, Elio. Elio.
That's how that's my memory is. And all the vignettes with when he was doing the plumbing and all that, like all the common man jobs.
Yeah. Back then, we had the turn dial and channel 3, 6, 9, and whatever. But I remember they would show, I think it was on Saturdays, I would be able to watch like the NWA shows and AWA, but it was like the channel was so messed up. You had to constantly move the antenna around, and it was awful. But I still was able to see it. But just like you, though, that I saw Dusty more in the magazines, and every magazine it was like Dusty was bleeding. Or
he'd be wearing some sort of Band-Aid or stitches.
Exactly. Yeah, he would wear like a Band-Aid because he got done bleeding. So you got Dusty one or the other. So, but watch, and then finally to get to see him with Magnum TA and Baby Doll, and that was, man, I loved wrestling back then. And I still do, obviously, but I tell you, just watching that, they made their see, and that's the difference between the storylines nowadays compared to the storylines back then. Back then, it was just so believable. But then again, we didn't have the internet. Just imagine.
Everything's ruined now.
Yeah, but just imagine if there was the internet back then. Would a lot of those storylines be spoiled? Would wrestling still be wrestling today as it is today? You know, it's like I kind of like it. I love the suspense. I love the surprises. You know, like with the Royal Rumble. You know, speaking of, and for me that was my love for wrestling. It's just oh my god, you know. But don't have that anymore. The internet kind of spoils a lot of shit, and podcasts too, like this show, always spoiling shit. Josh Sanders, he said, not his most famous or more popular choice, I bet, but my favorite is the feud with AJ Styles. Wait, what?
Yeah.
He had a feud with AJ Styles?
Yeah, back in TNA.
Really? Oh, well, if I kept reading it, I would have known that.
What was that around when?
No, really?
That was early days. That was the earlier days.
Oh, okay, so we weren't getting TNA here at that time. We got it like around 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Look at that. Yeah, like I said, if I kept reading it, I would have read that part. He said AJ Styles and Impact in their championship match for the NWA title.
Yep.
Wow. I did not know that at all. Clay Cummings, he said, my favorite moment is his Hard Times promo against Ric Flair. One of my favorite promos of all time. Dusty was an amazing wrestler and one of the best at promos. I got to agree with that.
Yeah.
He was so good at promo. But the thing of it is that I think what sets him apart is the way he would talk.
Yeah.
That little bit of a list. And
succotash.
Yeah. but he always added that little ghetto into it too, you know, like swag. You know, he was like, you know, baby. And the thing of it is, anybody, well, not anybody, because I suck at it. Like you could, if you have
every wrestler knows how. Every wrestler that's worked with him knows how to do his voice.
Yeah. But I heard a lot that was pretty terrible. But you know, but anyone, like if you say, all right, imitate Dusty, do a Dusty voice. You know, their first word is always all right, baby. You know, it's kind of like Hogan's brother, but. That's a different story. TJ from Wrestling POV Global said Dusty fighting the Horseman was the coolest shit when I was a teen. The man was truly a legend. Yeah, I remember that too. That was pretty neat. I love that. I tell you, like I said, for me, storylines back then, it was just so awesome. I just loved it. It was kept you on your toes. It was
it's funny that you mentioned about his booking, that obviously he was the booker for a lot of his own stuff.
Yeah.
I was talking to Ted DiBiase. Yes, our good friend Ted DiBiase. I was talking with him about why Cody was getting pushed and not Ted Jr.
Why who was getting pushed? I didn't hear you.
Why Cody was getting pushed over Ted DiBiase Jr. Mm-hmm. And he's like, are you serious? It's Dusty. And he did the perfect Dusty impression. I'm not going to try because I can't do it. But
you got to try because I did.
Yeah, baby. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah, you suck.
It's terrible. It's terrible. But yeah, he did this perfect impression and he was just like, of course his son's going to go over my son. And I was like, yeah, but your son was better. And he's like, I know that.
Oh shit.
He's like, but yeah, so it was a big thing with Legacy and Ted DiBiase and Dusty because it was just like, why is Cody going over? I always thought Ted DiBiase Jr. was the better wrestler, in my opinion.
Over Dusty?
Over Cody. Cody. Yeah. But when it comes to Dusty, man, like you said, that he's synonymous with Ric Flair. Like, you can't talk about Ric Flair without talking about Dusty Rhodes. Like, that was his, you know, Ric Flair was the Joker to Dusty Rhodes' Batman. Like, those two are together. So, it's kind of shameful that we don't talk about Dusty as much as we should Like we're always talking about Ric Flair being the 16-time champ. Well, Dusty was there for a lot of those championships and a lot of those big matches that he had with him. So it's one of those things where you talk about Dusty Rhodes and people just forget a lot of what he's done for the business. Yeah. But the good thing about it is we have a tournament that I can't stand to keep his name going on. Because I watched Bailey with Stone Cold and Bailey talks about Dusty. Everybody from NXT talks about Dusty Rhodes and what he did for their careers. Yeah. So the guy was a genuine. He had a heart of gold, and doing this deep dive on Spotlight for me was just a really cool thing where I got to see more of Dusty Rhodes, and I have a better appreciation for him.
Yeah. I mean, if you have time, just look at a lot of his old school matches in the NWA with, like I said, with the feuds, especially with Baby Doll and Magnum TA, Chief Wahoo McDaniel. Those were like Arn Anderson too, and Tully Blanchard at that time before they even became the Horsemen. It was something else, and it was just, oh man, I don't know how to even describe it. Just watch it, and you'll have that feeling. It's like, ooh, this is exciting. Ooh, this is great, because, back then, and this is going to lead to a little bit of what happened with The Undertaker in our Hot Tag News. But, even back then, it's like you can see the passion. You can see that they played out to these storylines, you felt it. You did. You felt every match that was during those times in the NWA. And I just loved it. And Dusty was a big part of that. And just the matches they had, some didn't make sense, but a lot of them, it was like, for me, just the story in itself in the wrestling. I was like, as I started to understand wrestling more and more as I got older, I was like, damn, I knew they were getting that. I get it now. So yeah, Dusty, I tell you, I wish Cody wasn't so pushing himself over, I guess. I mean, I mean, it sounds hypocritical that we're saying that, and Dusty is
because Dusty did it.
Because Dusty did it, yeah. But I mean, but what's the difference? You see what I'm saying? What's the difference?
I mean, the difference is Cody's in shape. And Dusty
Jesus Christ
was the average man. The average man in America is not in shape.
I tell you this, you know what the difference is that at least with Dusty, I guess I want to say, he was involved in a hot storyline at the time and putting himself over, not all the time, but at the same time, like for instance with Cody. Okay, we've been complaining a lot about Cody, which is sad because we even had him on the show. But like Cody's in so many. How many storylines is Cody in right now? Yeah, we can't even count. He was on now, and I tell you, the Britt Baker promo. What was it called? The Waiting Room.
Yeah, Waiting Room.
Like I dig it with Britt Baker because she has a personality that's growing on me. But her first guess was Cody. The Sting thing, Cody. What was the other one? The tournament? Oh, not the tournament. The Open Challenge, Cody. Who was the other one that Cody had to be involved? Oh, Snoop Dogg, Cody. So it's like he's in the. It's starting to be confusing because now they're bringing the story back with Shaq.
Yeah,
it's like. Oh my God. It's ridiculous. But at the same time, like I said, they did who was it? I think it was Cody was it Adam Page? I don't they did the press conference. Remember? Who's
meeting with? I think it was Adam Page, yeah.
Was it Adam Page? He made it elaborate. That for me, that's the difference between Cody and Dusty. Dusty was just like, I'm gonna put myself in this feud and that's it. You only saw him once.
Yeah.
Granted, but when we see Cody, even once, it's got to be elaborate. It's got to be extreme. When he's in attack, he has to come out last because he has this.
I literally timed how long his entrance was.
How long is it?
AEW. I think it went over a minute.
Jesus.
With a short ramp like that.
But it's short.
Yeah.
Just imagine the long ramp like in the stadium or something. Good Lord. Oh my! Every step he takes, the fireworks has to go off. Oh.
Slow motion.
All right, to close it out with Dusty, I think, like I said, of course he's a legend. I'm okay with the Dusty Rhodes Classic. I'm just not okay on how they're doing it as a tag.
Yeah.
To me, that doesn't make sense. Make it for a singular person. I know what they're trying to do to get other people involved, and I get that. But for me, Dusty was never a tag person. He was a solo act. And to do
it's like the Mae Young Classic. Do a single tournament, just whatever. And at the end, the winner gets a trophy.
Yeah.
And then, the Dusty Classic can be for people like Leon Ruff, where it's just like a common man working his way, he doesn't have to win it, but now we have respect for Leon Ruff, it's just like those are the moments where he can shine, not in a tag.
For an individual, because for me, like when they're doing this tag, it's like they're just putting people together. All right, y'all two go. And it doesn't make sense to me. It's like if you're gonna do a tag, then throw the actual tag teams in. That would make sense. Like where the fuck is that Indian?
Yeah.
Hindu
Bollywood boys.
Who?
No,
the
ones that were with
bigger guy.
The bigger
baseball
guys.
player guy.
Indu Shear.
Oh, yeah.
Indu
Okay.
Shear, yeah. Like,
Shear.
where have they been? They should have been in this tournament. I get it. Undisputed Era. Okay, that's fine. Who are the other tags? The actual tags they had in there?
MSK.
Yeah, MSK.
Grizzled Young Veterans.
Yeah, that's fine. But like the past winners, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Not even one actual tag was in it that won it. It made no sense. So we obviously know that the chairman, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, and Triple H, they do listen to this show. So you are listening. Stop with that. Next year, stop. Just do individual already. There's a reason why I'm saying that, because of what happened on SmackDown. But anyway, let's move on. So Spotlight, do you have anything coming up for Spotlight?
You know what? I will figure that out.
Alrighty then.
Nothing right now.
Alrighty then. So let's get on to now. I wanted this post to come up because I was watching Raw, and then I was looking at these guys, and I heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, Riker and Elias, they look so much alike. They should just be a tag and this and that." And I'm like, well, to me, and it's the beard, I know. Braun also should be in that in the stable too. But what would you name it? So we had our little post that said, "Hey, just name this stable." There was a lot of funny ones on here.
Yes.
A lot of inappropriate ones. Darren Metzler, he said pointless. That's what you should call him.
That's a good one.
Matthew Hamilton says hurt feelings. We're very sensitive. I mean, that doesn't even match. For me, that doesn't even make sense. Mimi Cootie, remember her? She says the Trace Monsters. Ridiculous. TJ, he says the League of Inappropriate Body Hair. Now, Elliot, you need to have a talk with TJ because that's the first thing he saw. But then again, we talk about peepees a lot on this show. So. And then the fucked up thing is, y'all make me say it. Biggie's dick and balls and Damian Priest's freaking peepee, whatever.
Needle dick.
Dylan Williams, he said, big bushy beard guys.
That's a good one.
Universal Truth. That was stupid. Oh, come on, Eric. He says Sam Crow. You guys know what Sam Crow is?
No.
Sons of Anarchy.
That's right. Sons of Anarchy. You know what Sam Crow actually means?
No.
What does it mean, Elio? Come on now. What's Sam Crow mean? Don't look it up either, you cheater.
No, I'm not looking it up. I can't think of something. Sons of Anarchy Motorcycle Club original. Redwood Originals.
Yep, that's what it means. So if you're a Sons of Anarchy fan, that's what it means. In case y'all never remembered.
Seen every season.
Yeah. Yep. They're gonna do a spinoff too on the kids. So I like the Mayans one, but all right. Simon Pitchett, he said remembered sons. No.
No. Oh, get it? Forgotten Sons?
The Universal Beard. Stupid. Rampage. This one here, I think, wins the internet. I was glad I came up on this. He said, it's by Marcus Davis. He put virus, and this is what virus means. Vince intentionally ruined us. I had to comment on him, and I said, you won this one. And then he just responds with, thank you, or thumbs up. Nate Walls, he says, nope. Another one is new ZZ Top.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, there was a lot of good responses to this one. I just cracked up laughing. Short-lived is another one. The Wrecking Crew, and then they can put the Hurt Business out of business. That would be cool to see this feud against them. Yeah, that would be pretty neat. Lean, mean wrecking machines. Braun can be the mean part. No, nothing. Since he chucks his opponent around, beanbags.
No.
Oh my Lord. What is wrong with people nowadays? They can't we just asked for a name. That's it.
I'm already upset at that ZZ Top comment.
Oh really? Why?
Because they took mine.
No.
when I saw this picture, I'm like, I like those guys anywhere. That's ZZ Top. I have every one of their albums.
Oh my Lord. This one is funny. It's by Joshua Phillips. He goes, call them America. Fuck yeah. Like, bro, you can't. The trumpets. The fuck? That makes no sense.
No, well, because this guy, Forgotten Sons dude, Riker, was a Trump supporter.
Oh, okay. I thought they meant like the actual Trump, the trombone or whatever the fuck that's called. Another one was
a trumpet.
A trumpet. Yeah, that's what it's called. Another one was the Beardos. That makes it's funny, but not as a tag like that. Elias and the Rhodes, the Beard Gang, the Nobodies, Monsters of Rock, the Beard Pirates.
Another one of mine.
Oh,
Monsters of Rock is a good one.
Monsters of Rock, I do like that one. That one is pretty badass. The Sexy Bears.
What? I think there's another comment attached to that one. I saw.
There was not
attached to that comment.
There was a what?
There was a reply attached to that comment.
I don't see it. For the Sexy Bears?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Because the one person replied with at Bandy Rose and called them Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Oh shit. That would make sense though.
Yes.
But I don't think it would go over because everybody would hate that name. I think it makes sense, yeah, but everybody would hate that name. This one is pretty cool. Bad to the Beard.
No, it's terrible.
Oh Lord, the Three Muskebeards.
Oh my God!
What?
Yeah, Fear the Beards. Apparently, this is a song from Psycho Stick. Don't know. Carl Trapp. He says, "Walk with these hands." Stupid. That is so dumb.
It's going on.
Oh my God! Muscles in Music was another one. That's
good.
Samson back in Elias's name and make them a Hanson parody called Bronson. That makes no sense. All right, and finally, because I've had enough of this, Aaron Weathers, he wrote Rhythm and Bruise.
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad. It actually reminds me of, obviously, Rhythm and Blues. Who's in that tag?
That was Greg Valentine and Honky Tonk Man.
Yes. All right.
Yes. Come on, man.
I won't get on you too much then.
Now, what would you guys name it? What would you guys name this stable?
I got out of the page, but it was the Monsters of Rock. Was it that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Monsters of
I
Rock.
like that one.
That was when I was gonna. I would go with
that. All one right, I would go with too. What about you?
For me, it's like a Pokemon evolution. So I would call them evolution because Elias evolves into Riker and Riker evolves into Braun.
Yes, that's true. That is true. Actually, you know what? I'm going to read a couple more because I just found some more that was pretty funny. Stuart Murn, he said 3.5 man band.
Oh, God.
No, can't do that. Another one was the Beardies. This one I thought was cool, but I think they would have to change their gimmick altogether. Antonio said the Barbarians, but there was a Barbarians back in the day.
Yeah.
I forgot who was the actual team, but yeah. The Monster Outlaws was another one. Havoc Annihilation was another one.
That's a good one.
Rhythm Monsters. It's not bad. Not a bad one. It's not bad. All right, so again, yeah, we'll stop from there. There was a lot of good ones, a lot of questionable ones, but that was pretty funny nonetheless. So if you guys do have any suggestions or comments, throw it on our Facebook page, and yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll see what other people think, and we'll read it on air. Other than that, you know what? Let's get on to the wrestling news from around the world. Take it away, Rick.
All right, before we do that, let's get into some birthdays. Dave Bautista turns 52 years old.
No kidding.
Yeah, 52. Nice. Right?
Awesome.
Maryse. Yeah, Maryse. Mademoiselle.
Maryse.
She turns 38 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't. No. No.
Yeah. Royal Rumble appearance, possibly?
No, I don't think so. No.
I think I read where she said she has like one more run in her.
Oh, really?
Whoa.
Yeah, she feels like she has one more run. I read somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. And our good friend Ted DiBiase turned 67 years old.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Right?
Happy birthday, Ted, my good friend.
Yeah.
All right. It is now time for the wrestling news from around the world. All right. This is probably the biggest news out there right now. Tama Tonga wants to do business with the WWE. Mm-hmm. He is saying he has no problems with WWE. Hunter, Vince, we're open for business. And he's talking about the Bullet Club and New Japan Pro Wrestling. I have no beef with y'all like these other cats building a company to rival y'all.
Yeah.
So, for those of you that don't know, Tama Tonga is from the Bullet Club in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
And who's his dad?
Haku or Maine. You know?
And I tell you, Tama Tonga has the same attitude as Haku.
Yeah.
But honestly, though, I think he's a little bit crazier than Haku.
It's tough.
Well, Haku was just like a guy you just didn't fuck with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Tama Tonga, though, this dude is like somebody you just don't fuck with, but at the same time, I think he's more outspoken than Haku, than his dad, I would say.
For sure. Well, obviously, I mean, I don't think Haku would ever do something like this. And now, Tama Tonga is from the Bullet Club. Mm-hmm. He's pissed off at what AEW is doing with the whole Bullet Club and Impact. Yeah. He even took a shot at Impact and was just like, who gives a fuck about Impact? Like, I want to work with WWE.
Yeah.
Yep. So, what are you guys' thoughts on this? Is this something that the future holds? New Japan and WWE working together?
Well, they have been trying to work out some kind of deal because of the simple fact that WWE wants to do an NXT Japan.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it would be a great idea. I think it really would, because the reputation that Japan and WWE has, it's good. It's nothing like, they don't have like any kind of animosity towards each other. So, I mean, that would be a good fit for sure. I don't know. He's right what he said, though. He is absolutely right what he said. So, for me, like, I think it would be better. And it's nothing against, it's a lot against Impact, but I think I would have been more invested if it was with like not New Japan, if AEW teamed up with Ring of Honor, then Impact. I know why they did it with Impact. Honestly, I think it's because of Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, because of the whole Bullet Club thing. I don't know. I dig it, but I don't know. I agree with it.
Well, Elio, as our New Japan Pro Wrestling guy, what are your thoughts on this?
I think it would be cool to see New Japan WWE. I think it would just work better than with the AEW and Impact. I mean, I get the whole Impact connection with the Good Brothers, but WWE years ago, like in the 90s, they even had like a partnership with New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
With the SWS Championship, I believe it was. I can't remember what that stands for, but they also had like a WWF version of their Japan Championships.
Yeah.
Like I believe in the late 70s, one of them was champion.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
so
I
think it would be interesting. It would make for some fresh and new storylines.
Oh yeah, for sure. Are you kidding me? And the thing is, Finn Balor would be all over this too, and AJ Styles.
Yep,
they would be all over this. But my worry.
Adam Page. Oh no, not Adam Page. What am I saying? No, Adam Cole. Adam Cole would be there. Yeah, because he was in Bullet Club.
Yeah. But my thing is, though I love the idea of WWE and New Japan teaming up, I tell you this, if they do it right, they can take literally. I think WWE is obviously like the pinnacle in wrestling, but I think they would just be over the top with New Japan. I really do. But my worry is Vince. Because if they get into a meeting and let's just say, I don't know who's the guy that's in charge of New Japan, Elio. Do you know?
I can't think of the name right now.
Whoever it is.
Yeah.
Who?
No, I can't think of the name.
I just think that would clash. I don't think Vince would be able to work well with another promotion that whoever owns it. You know what I'm saying? For me, Vince will say, "Well, I don't think that's a good idea." There would be something wrong. If Vince stays out of it, I think it could work. But Vince needs to stay out of it, or do it when Vince is retired and long gone from wrestling. I think it would work. It definitely would work. It'll set a whole different. I mean, the only thing I'm afraid of is New Japan. Obviously, the hours in New Japan is different. So when they show their shows, it's like 3:00 in the morning here, right? Something like that?
Yeah. 13 hours ahead.
Because take the G1 for example, or the Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
When they have their G1 climax pay-per-view, here it's like 5 a.m.
Damn. Yeah. So I mean, that's the only snag, I guess I would see is that. But at the same time, I think they could still make it work. The only thing that's gonna, like I said, the time difference. So people would spoil it, and like let's just say if they did do a deal, and we would see New Japan guys in WWE programming, or even the New Japan itself on WWE programming. If they doing stuff in New Japan and in Japan, I don't know. There's a lot of variables to this, and I love the idea, but there's just too many things that I can see go wrong. That's just my only issue with this.
Yeah,
I would love to see it.
Maybe just start with NXT Japan, and just start off with that. And I think they can do their own thing.
To be with New Japan?
Yeah. And have New Japan become NXT Japan. I think that would be a good fit for them. Kota Ibushi would rule that. Come on, man. Like, the guys they have over there would be killer, man.
Yeah.
And then you can have a whole NXT War Games with NXT Japan, NXT UK, NXT. Like, come on. Like, this is something that can definitely work.
Oh, yeah.
Moving on, Renee Young is back with WWE. Not really. She's back with Fox.
Oh, okay.
WWE Backstage So she'll be working with Fox, and they'll be bringing back WWE backstage after the Royal Rumble, I believe. So
I thought it was before. I thought they're doing something before the Royal
Oh,
Rumble.
it might be right before. I'm not.
Thought it was,
not too
yeah.
sure. I'm only reporting the news, man. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Get it together, Rick.
But yeah, I mean that's okay. That's all right, interesting. But
Yeah.
On to the rumors.
All right. Ricochet, he signed a deal till 2024.
Oh, I wonder who said that last week.
The amount is unknown. I said it last week. Taya Valkyrie is officially done with Impact Wrestling, and there appears to be interest from both WWE and AEW. I know we say this a lot. I'm going to go first with this, though. I think if she has a chance to shine, is going to be in WWE. I'm sorry. The women in the women's division in AEW is just horrendous. It's terrible. It's obnoxious. It's ridiculous. Elio, where do you think she should land?
She should land in WWE. I mean,
Yeah.
They already have John Morrison.
Yeah, her husband.
Yeah. Rick.
Yeah, WWE with her husband. Come on.
Okay. I'm just asking, brother. This is what
I mean, maybe Royal Rumble. Maybe Royal Rumble.
that would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
That
but
would be
also, yeah, she should. If she should go anywhere, it would be WWE because, like you said, AEW's the women's division is terrible.
It is. I don't think there's no saving that. I mean, what does AEW need to do to save that women's division? Stop putting. I know what it is. It's Kenny Omega. For some reason, he's the one that's behind the women's division.
And now they're having a tournament.
And now they're having fun. Yeah. Oh.
Ugh.
Wow.
That's. I mean, if there's any saving this division, it's this tournament. But it could also be the demise of this tournament of this women's division.
Yes.
So this is a huge gamble they're taking.
Yes, I agree. WWE is planning for both nights of WrestleMania 37 to run approximately 3 hours and to be finished by 10 p.m. Eastern.
Wow.
Yeah. So how do you guys feel about the 2-night WrestleMania?
I hate it. I hate it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like 2 nights. It's like okay. It's like you have the first night.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yep.
And then like the second night. Well, wait, I just saw WrestleMania, so we're doing it again. Now I have to watch it again.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well,
no,
I mean,
I like just one night, beginning to end. That's it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. But at least the thing with the 2-night is that it's 2 different outcomes, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
No, it's true. Yeah, we have just 2 different matches, 2 different match cards, but it's still you just like a second.
Like the main event. The main event would
It was
be.
like Wrestle Kingdom. They had 2 nights. Like the first night it could be like good, and then the second night would be not as good. So
Yeah.
it's like if you combine it, if you just have one night, you can take the good and the bad
Yeah.
throughout the whole show. But if you have 2 nights, well, I like night 1 better than night 2.
Yeah. Yep. So apparently though, for WrestleMania, they're gonna allow up to 25,000 fans.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because that's what the NFL is doing right now with the playoffs. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's been crowds there, and the most that they had was 25,000. And I guess that's what they plan on doing for both nights. So, but they didn't say exactly like as far as ticket pricing goes and this and that. They didn't really comment on that.
Interesting.
Chad Gable, he said that Jason Jordan is trying to get back from his career-threatening injury, and he hopes that there will be an American Alpha reunion one day.
Okay.
I mean, are we doing cartwheels over this or no?
No. I mean, I feel. I mean, good for Jason Jordan, but not for us. I mean, I don't want to see that. I'm not.
Kurt
I
Angle's
was never.
son.
Oh, Kurt Angle's illegitimate son.
Yeah.
No. No. Terrible.
Nothing? All right.
Nothing.
All right, finally, and this is going to be a good one to talk about. During the recent episode of Ryback TV, the big guy seemingly let the cat out the bag about his impending arrival in AEW. Nothing has been reported to confirm that he is on his way, but he dropped a very blatant hint, quoting, "I'm coming back and I'm going to I'm going to the competition, and we're going to kick their asses in the ratings.
Ryback likes to tell a lot of stories.
Hey, do not talk about Ryback. He's the best. He's the greatest, and he will eat you alive, Elio. He will eat you.
All right, so like the recent comments. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this whole Ryback thing up is because he's been going back and forth with Mark Henry, and now this is what's interesting to me is that Jericho came in defense of Mark Henry, and pretty much was telling Ryback, dude, just shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. And then now Ryback is saying that he's going to be in AEW. There's going to be a clash right away with Jericho.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, Jericho don't give a fuck who you are and what you are and how big you are. He's going to confront you.
I mean,
he confronted Brock Lesnar because of what happened with Randy Orton.
And I read that tweet about that he said about Mark Henry.
Yeah. So, I mean, do we take this with a grain of salt, or is this going to be something that's going to...
I don't think Ryback is coming back to wrestling. I honestly just think Ryback is just trolling us, and he's going to go back to the competition. It's going to be something stupid that has nothing to do with wrestling, honestly.
Yeah.
No, like I just said, Ryback tells a lot of stories, so I never really believe anything he says because he said a lot of things and none of them ever happened or came true.
Yeah, very true, very true. But I don't know, I mean, all right? Put it this way. My question for you guys is: does Ryback really have a right to talk shit like that, especially about somebody like Mark Henry? I don't think so. Absolutely not. You think there's some truth to what Ryback is saying, though?
I mean, there's always a little bit of truth in there. I mean, do I think he's 100% accurate? No. Do I think Mark Henry is not the best wrestler? Absolutely. I don't think Mark Henry is like even in the top 50, you know, top 100. Like, I don't think so. You don't think of Mark Henry as the safest worker. And his matches weren't ever that great. They did come off as lazy.
Right.
So, is there some truth to that? Yeah, possibly. Unless Mark Henry wants to come on the show, I'm going to say yeah.
So, all right, Elliot, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think he has a right to say what he said about Mark, or is there any truth to this?
There's some truth too, because like Rick said, Mark Henry didn't have like best matches.
He didn't have a memorable match, I tell you that much.
Yeah, like I can't remember any matches really that stand out.
Yeah,
I mean his matches with Mae Young.
Oh jeez, giving birth to a hand. What the fuck? That's ridiculous. Yeah,
that's when I was like, no, I'm out.
Yeah. To see, I don't know. I honestly though, I hear a lot of bad stories about Ryback, and even CM Punk too. If you remember, the one podcast he did, and he said a lot of bad things about Ryback and how stupid he was and
not safe,
just not safe. Yeah, and somebody, you know what? Someone did like a what is it called? Like a bunch of matches that Ryback's done that was unsafe, and like they put it all in one clip. And I was like, wow, Ryback was like a little bit.
And then he responded with a video of him catching Kalisto. Like Kalisto botched, and he caught him. Otherwise, Kalisto would have got really hurt.
Yeah, no, I remember that one too, but that's just one.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Oh my god. All right, Rick, what do you got for injury?
I got nothing for injury, but boy, oh boy, do we got something steaming hot in the hot tag news.
Yeah. The Undertaker's
comments.
Yeah, the Undertaker's comment. That's okay. I'll read it, and then we're going to talk on this. In the era, this is the quote from the Undertaker. So, in the era of guys, too, those were men. You go into a dressing room nowadays, and it's a lot different. I remember walking into my first real dressing room, and all I saw were some crusty fucking men. Half of them had guns and knives in their bags. Shit got handled back then. Now you walk in, there's guys playing video games and fucking making sure they look pretty. It's evolution, I guess. I don't know what it is, but I just like those eras, man. I liked when men were men. Men were men, and the women were women. Yeah.
Mark, you need to stop. This is why you didn't talk for 30 fucking years. Because right now, what you said was fucking stupid. I'm sorry. And I know that there are people out there that actually agree with this. And you know what? You have every right to agree with this. But let me tell you something, brother. I'm not a man because I don't fucking walk around with a gun and knives. I'm not a man because I play video games. Are you fucking serious? Let me tell you something, brother. Back in the day, in the locker room, you guys were playing cards, weren't you? You guys were playing dominoes, weren't you?
A lot of them.
That's a form of entertainment, to my understanding. So just
didn't
because
have video games back then,
you didn't have the technology that we have nowadays.
No.
So that's a huge slap in the face to the business of today. Well, and
I don't think it's a huge slap. I agree with what you said, but again, I do agree with the Undertaker too when he said, men were men back then, which is true. You handled a lot of shit in the back that never gets shown in the outside. But then again, the internet wasn't really existing.
Exactly.
It was just hearsay or whatever. That's why they do. That's why I love the dark side of the ring, because you get a perspective of what it was kind of like back then from different points of view from people or wrestlers that were involved. I think having video games in the back, I don't see nothing wrong with it. But I do agree with The Undertaker where a lot of wrestlers nowadays concentrate on looking pretty. And I do agree with that because of the simple fact that a lot of wrestlers, they just worry about how they look instead of harnessing their craft in the ring. And a lot of matches suck. I'm sorry to say. We critique these matches every Monday, every Wednesday, and every Friday, and on occasion pay-per-views. And were a lot of these 5-star matches? No. We've been, a lot of times, if you go back and listen, our ratings are always below average. So is there any truth to what The Undertaker's saying about that part? I mean, I do agree. Come on, man. You just because if you have a gun, that doesn't make you a man. If you have a knife, that doesn't make you a man. I have a gun. I own a gun. I own several knives. I own several guns. I'd never thought myself like that. I just do it because I like guns, number one. But number two, I mean, back then, too, motherfuckers were crazy. A lot of them were on top of that. A lot of them were on drugs.
And then you have to think about the fans, too, back then. The fans, were, into, the villains, if they really hated someone.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Actually, I would love to hear from Andy Anderson because he was a heel in Puerto Rico, too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Puerto Rico, they take their wrestling serious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And in Puerto Rico, they have, just like in New Japan, the heels are in one locker room and the baby faces are in another locker room because they want to still keep that,
kayfabe.
The realism for those that don't know what kayfabe is. And but even still, I've heard stories about the heels in Puerto Rico. They're getting urine thrown at them, rocks, batteries. It's like, wow. So I want to know if that ever happened with Andy Anderson. That would be interesting to hear, because he was called what was he called in Puerto Rico?
Lobo.
Lobo. Yes, I remember. But but I mean, even still, if you remember Kamala, he told a story how I think Andre was fucking with him or whatever.
Yep.
And he had a match where he actually had a gun on him because Andre kept fucking with him. And he told him straight up, I'll shoot you, man. And Andre backed off from that.
And honestly, it comes down to a generational thing. Because honestly, I think this newer generation, they understand it's a thing about mental health. And I feel like back in the day, it was, we just answer these things with our fists. And, the guy that wins comes off good, right? He fucked you up. But the guy that loses, he loses his spot. He goes to the bottom of the fucking line.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what happened to him? He's done, right? Like, that's how it was. And I never, the kangaroo court with Undertaker, who the fuck are you? I'm sorry. You're the man in the locker room, but you're not the owner. You're not the, like, come on. You have the longevity. And I'll tell you this. This is what Xavier Woods.
What was that kangaroo court thing? Did they show that?
The kangaroo court. So Undertaker was in charge of this courtroom that was happening in the back of the
basically what
locker
happened
room.
was, if there was a dispute in the back about, and it could be about anything, it wasn't really about something serious. It would be something goofy too. The Undertaker would be the judge. Like, he would have the final say. Like, I don't want to say it like that.
It was the final say.
It was more or less like he would have the final say if there was a harsh discrepancy between two people, like if they didn't get along, and Undertaker would be there to be like, listen, this is what the deal is, and y'all got to just get along, basically. But there was other things that they would hold court for, which would be something funny, I guess, and Undertaker would act like he was the judge. I think the acolytes were part of that too. Like, they were like a jury. I don't know what the hell it was.
Bailiffs and shit.
Yeah. But it was just a thing in the back that they did. But to go with what you're saying, Rick, because I know you disagree with that. But even when I was wrestling back in the day, there was always someone in charge of the locker room.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because, I'm sorry to say, there's a lot of fucking slobs out there that they don't pick up after themselves. You know, they're taping their wrist, they throw it on the fucking floor, and when the trash can is like literally a foot away from them. So you did have a guy in charge in the locker room to be like, yo, pick that up, bro. You know, clean up after yourself. Watch your mouth. You know, because I'm sorry to say, not everybody's a fucking decent person. You got to remember that there's a women's locker room, and of course, women are attractive, and when you know the women in wrestling, you have one person that's going to say something inappropriate. That one guy that's in charge of the locker room would handle that person. Be like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? You don't say that. You don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So when the Undertaker, that was pretty much his role in WWE. Yeah, it was just to make sure things were tight and copacetic in the locker room. So
but you see, Tony, that's a huge difference because, and I'm going to go reference this again with Bailey and Stone Cold. Stone Cold said, are you the leader of the locker room, Bailey, since you're the one that's, like, you're the one that had the belt for the longest? And she's like, you know what? Honestly, it's all about being together. Like, she's the kind of person that wants everybody in unity. And I feel like back in the day, it was a hierarchy of who is the strong guy, who is the next guy. Like, that's not good for business. And this is what Xavier Woods had to say. Xavier Woods said, I wouldn't be the person that I am without the guidance and lessons of a few key people from the previous generation of wrestling. They taught me about the business to save my money, and that having video games in the locker room is healthier than having, and whatever he said was redacted. Yeah. And he's like, thank you guys. So let's fill in the blank. Then having drugs. Then having guns. Then having knives. Then having fucking just horrible things. Like let's just say it. We had the late Brian Christopher. He asked us for drugs. You know? Like, that's just one of those things where that shouldn't be happening in the business. It messes everything up, you know? It's just, we got to clean the business up. And to say, Undertaker say, when men were men, it's just like, we've been doing our research. And in fact, that's just a very unhealthy way of thinking. Like, it's just not really, because like, I get where Undertaker's coming from too. Like, a lot of times what he's trying to say, for me, how I took this comment was that a lot of wrestlers nowadays are being catered to. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they just don't want to do the work, but they want to look pretty. They want to look good for television. They want to look good for their character. Granted, it is part of wrestling, but that's not all about that. Yeah. You know what? Again, I'll give you a prime example, and you're going to hate me for this, Rick. Eva Marie. She was always just wanted to I agree with you on that.
But can she wrestle? No, she cannot. You cannot tell me she can wrestle. And that's where the Undertaker's trying to get at. You know, you're concentrating more on that. Why don't you concentrate on trying to be a wrestler instead of trying to act like that? You know, it just as it goes hand in hand. Do I disagree with everything that Undertaker said? Not everything. There's a couple, because especially the whole video game thing. For me, you know, video games too with me. I play video games, and I'm going to be 50 next month. There's nothing wrong with playing video games. It's honestly, JBL is the one that started this thing where he was teaching guys in the back, as much as everybody hates him, but he was really teaching guys in the back on how to save money. You know, don't blow your money on this, invest, because wrestling is not
guaranteed.
It's never guaranteed. So it was because of JBL that would always say, save your money. Back then, them motherfuckers never saved their money because they were too busy partying. They were too busy with the drugs and shit like that. So that part I agree with as far as Xavier Woods go, you know, with the video game thing. I disagree with the Undertaker's comment on that. But I do agree with the Undertaker where, you know, I'm sorry to say, it's nowadays a lot of people get catered just because they get a broken fingernail. It's like, oh, come on, serious? So that's where the Undertaker is really coming from. Men were men back then. You didn't complain about a lot of shit. But then again, these motherfuckers took a lot of painkillers too.
Yeah.
Took a lot of pain pills to deal with it. So that's how they dealt with it, but they were still out there. You know. So the comment that the Undertaker's trying to say is men were men back then, that's what he's talking about. Because I'm sorry, nowadays it's probably with wrestling too, because I don't know much about the wrestling in the locker room nowadays. But a lot of these, actually, you know what? The show that we had in Tennessee, you know, this one guy, he just wanted to get his shit in, and that was it. It's like, serious, dude? You know, you got to make this a match, right? It's not all just about you. Nobody knows who the fuck you are. So make this match work for the both of us so we can make a good match. I can see that. But I could also see guys complaining about little and stupid things because they want to get their shit in. Instead of trying to make a good match, they're just concentrating more on themselves, and they're trying to make sure they get their shit in. So I agree with the Undertaker, and I disagree with some of it. I agree with Xavier Woods, though. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to play both sides of the fence, but they both got good points, is what I'm trying.
I hear you. For me, though, I personally don't like the comment men were men. I don't like the comments of boys will be boys kind of thing. So it's just that's where I'm at with it. And I like I said, it's a generational thing. You know, it's a huge difference. You know, I wasn't around back then. From my experiences in life, things have changed a lot. You know, especially as a millennial, things have definitely changed a lot, and it's a generational thing, and we're gonna have to agree to disagree on this one. Elio, what are you at with Undertaker's comments?
So I agree with some of the video games. I don't see any problem playing. I play video games, so I don't see any problem there. But yeah, the comment, men were men like you. I wasn't really like watching it back then. Like, even though I was following it, so I know more about this generation that we're now. Yeah,
I don't know. I think, like I said, I
we all can't be like William Regal, manly man. He's a man. Oh man. Well, that's our hot tag news for this week. It got pretty hot.
A little hot. Well, like I said, it's a conversation that can go both ways. And,
of course.
You know, you get an old school person like myself. You know, I try to see it on both ends. And like I said, I won't disagree with Xavier Woods' comment because he is right. But I also agree with some of the comments from the Undertaker too. Yeah. Like, put it this way, his son's really not really old. But I think his son's like in his 20s, right?
Yeah.
His son looks just like him, by the way. Holy shit. But let's just say, like, if his son was into video games when he was living with him, and he would tell him, hey, Dad, come play with me. He's like, I don't know how to play this shit. Well, of course you don't. And he never understands. He won't understand what playing a video game is like or can do. Like I tip my hat off to AJ Styles. He brings his Xbox with him everywhere he goes when he's traveling. And when he's done with his show, he goes right to the hotel room and he plays his games. And he goes on Twitch and makes money. But so, you know, that's his way of staying out of trouble. Back then, it wasn't like that back then. A lot of guys that was on the up and up, like I want to say Lance Storm was like this, like after a show, like the guys would go to a bar, drink and do whatever. He would go to a hotel room, and because that wasn't him, you know, that wasn't his thing. He would go to a hotel room and, you know, talk with his wife or whatever, while the other guys did some, you know, stuff that was probably inappropriate, and he didn't want to be a part of that. So that part I agree with. Like I said, I agree with Xavier Woods, where he's saying at least doing this, I won't be doing something else that'll get me in trouble. So I agree with that.
Yeah, like having a three-way with Paige. Oh, come on.
Yeah. All over the internet. All right. With that being said, we're going to take a quick pause for the cause. If you have any, again, but you know, before that, but again, if you have any suggestions for a hot tag news, drop us a line on our Facebook page. We're going to take a quick pause, and when we come back, we got This Week in Wrestling.
Hey, this is Chavo Guerrero Jr. Listen to the Wrestling POV podcast. You guys truly bring the Latino heat. Viva la raza.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you go to ProWrestlingTees.com/WrestlingPOV and purchase a shirt today for $19.99 plus shipping and handling. Guys, great shirts for a great business, for a great cause. Help us out by keeping this alive. I mean, we have 4 TV shows, not TV shows, podcasts, you know? We got 4 shows. We have Wrestling POV podcast. We want to have a TV show, and we'll definitely have a TV show if you guys start buying shirts. But we have a podcast, Wrestling POV, which you're listening to right now. We cover WWE every Saturday. We have Wrestling POV Global, which is every Friday with Elio Canella, TJ Logan, and Andy Anderson. They go over everything AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact, and more. Don't miss out on that. We also have our show, Wrestling POV Quarantine. Every Tuesday, you can find different topics, different wrestling topics are discussed every Tuesday. It's a Zoom-based show. We've had guests like D'Lo Brown, Savio Vega, Bruce Hart. Give me more, Elio. Give me more.
We just had Dan Crawford on the show.
Dan Crawford
discussing Calgary Stampede.
Bushwhacker Luke. Yes. So you don't want to miss out on that. So such great guests and so much more. And of course, we have Aftermath, the Wrestling POV Aftermath. After every major pay-per-view, we have a show that talks about that. And also, we crown the champion from Wrestling POV Podcast. Who will be the next champion? Our next Aftermath will be in about a week, right after the Royal Rumble. And don't forget, we got the world-famous pay-per-view points game where everybody loves to play. All right, Tony, I think I babbled on long enough. I fucked it up a lot. But we are back, and we're about to get raw in This Week in Wrestling.
All right, This Week in Wrestling with Raw. You know what? Let's go straight to the low points of Raw. Elliot, what was your low point of Raw?
The dirt sheet or whatever.
The dirt sheet
was it?
Really? You didn't like that? Gilbert,
no, not really.
Back. Gilbert.
David Krumholtz. A lot of people didn't know who that was, but he's from Addams Family Values.
Yes,
as a kid. Yeah,
he was in a bunch of other movies I heard too.
Yeah. Santa Claus.
Wow. What'd you give that segment, Elio?
I gave it a 0.5.
Like, fuck that episode. All right, Rick, what was your low points?
My low points was Jeff Hardy defeating Jackson Riker by DQ. I gave it a 1. I also gave a 1 to the Hurt Business defeating Lucha House Party and Matt Riddle. I'm over this Matt Riddle, the Hurt Business. I'm over Lucha House Party being on every show. Like, what's going on now? Like,
yeah. They were on freaking NXT too. I'm like, wait, what the fuck is going on?
Going after the Cruiserweight title, they're going after the tag team titles, they're going after tournaments. Yeah. It's just like, okay, what is going on?
Yeah, and it's not like they're getting pushed.
Yeah, they're losing. This doesn't make sense.
No.
But yeah, and Jeff Hardy, I'm over Jeff Hardy. We all know that. So that's the one.
Have
I
you
gave.
noticed lately he's been coming out without his makeup?
Yeah, he's just doing the neck now.
Is he? I thought that
I
was
guess he
that
gave
too.
up. No, that's the neck makeup he does. Yeah.
Okay, didn't know that. My low point, honestly, you guys probably, a lot of people probably might hate me for it, but hear me out, okay? But my low point was the Alexa Playground with Asuka. I gave it a 1, and the reason why was because of Asuka. I love Alexa's Playground. Okay,
yes.
See, that's why I say y'all got to hear me out. I love Alexa's Playground. I really do. I think it's
Asuka dancing around.
Yeah, it's just
let's dance.
Yeah, it's like she kind of ruined that for me. I mean, I know that they're telling her to do this, but it's not working. It really isn't. That segment, I freaking hate it. I did not like it. All right, high points of Raw. Rick, what you get?
My highest point has to go to the opening segment. Randy Orton.
That was a good promo.
This promo was probably one of his greatest of all time. I gave it a 4,
burn
Tony.
Mask too.
The burn mask and everything. Everything, yes, was specifically done. It was perfect. I gave it a 4.
Jesus, wow.
I would love to see him with the reptilian mask next week or something like that. Just cool. Oh my God, yeah. I gave it a 4.
But would that really fit Randy's character? You know that
I don't know
what you just said.
Yeah, maybe. It depends on how it looks.
True. Yeah.
Did you see that tweet from whatever T-Bar? He said, "There's the offer's still out there. They're showing Retribution." I'm like, no, don't.
Will he be able to help Retribution though?
Oh no,
because Ali's not doing it.
No, that's dead and buried. Don't even touch that.
But we didn't see him this week. We didn't see him this week.
Yeah, we did. Mace.
No, we saw Mace.
Xavier Woods.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. My bad.
But yeah, but that was my highest point. I gave that a 4. Also gave Ricochet and AJ a 3.5. I thought that was a really good match. I mean, anytime, yeah, yeah,
that was dope.
Guys, if you didn't see it, go back and watch it. He basically suplexed him onto the top rope, and he bounced back into a Styles Clash.
Yep.
Check it out. Amazing.
Yes. Dope.
Loved it.
All right. Me, I gave my highest point of Raw, and y'all don't call me hypocrites because y'all just got to hear me out. Was Asuka versus Alexa Bliss.
That was amazing. I'm with you on that.
I gave it a 3.5. Now, if I have to be picky, and I put this as my side note, okay? If they're going to do 2 sides of Alexa, do something with her face. Even though I know they kind of did when she kind of transformed into whatever she did, but do something with her face. Like either add more makeup, have her when she does the playground, have her less makeup. Like
what she did with the contacts.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Because obviously they could have easily taped this. So they could have at least added the contacts, make her have darker makeup, black lipstick or something. I don't know. But something needed, because I wasn't really confused, but when she was I didn't realize she was a different person until almost the match was over. And the commentary was like, she's just a different person or whatever they said. I forgot what they said. I was like, oh, okay. But I did like it a lot. I gave it a 3.5. The one closest to that was Ricochet versus AJ. I love that match, man.
Yep.
That ending was crazy. I was like, I just love that. And I'm pretty sure that was a call. They both probably made that call on that spot. And I did appreciate it. Elio, what'd you get for your high point?
Yeah, I got the Randy Orton promo at the beginning, gave it a 3.
Yeah.
The AJ Styles Ricochet match, 3, and the Alexa Asuka.
Oh, wow, it's the same thing, yeah. So as another side note, and you guys chime in on this because I need to know. And if you agree with me, you agree with me. If you don't, I want to know why. But I put as my side note, is it too early for the Hurt Business to be having problems like that?
Yes. It's annoying.
Didn't Cedric just join them?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And but not only that, they just won the tag title.
Yeah. And they're already having problems.
Yeah,
so what, they're going to lose the belts?
Yeah, it's like, for me, it's like, you guys got to be be more dominant. You guys want to be a huge stable. Don't start having problems already, because now it's like kind of all right. Now what? I mean, because I'm sorry to say, they beat the shit out of Cedric Alexander before he became a member of the Hurt Business. They'll do it again. You know, I mean, now granted, I do like Shelton Benjamin's role as like he's like getting annoyed with it. Like, come on, like Shelton to me rejuvenated himself when he joined the Hurt Business.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And very underrated. Very underrated. People forget that one for me was probably one of his best matches in his career when he fought against Shawn Michaels. Yes. And, you know, I hate to say that, but it's true. That one match that for me will always stick out is that match he had on Monday Night Raw with Shawn Michaels. I was like, damn. But even still, though, I always said that Shelton was an underrated wrestler anyways. But do you guys agree with me, though? I mean, is it too early for them to have problems?
No, it's definitely too early for them to have problems. And the other thing that stuck out to me with the Hurt Business, Bobby Lashley not knowing how to step on Matt Riddle's foot. And the cameraman fucking that up.
I was going to say, it's not Bobby Lashley, it was the cameraman.
Yeah, those flip flops are bad for your feet. No, they're not. How?
All right, so overall, I gave Raw a 2.1. Rick, what'd you give Raw?
Now, I'm going to shock the hell out of you. I gave it a 2.7. I was really entertained by Monday Night Raw this week, but I do have to say this: what are your guys' thoughts on Charlotte and Lacey Evans and Ric Flair? Like, what are they doing? This is stupid.
Now, apparently, this is part of a rumor I heard. Well, actually, kind of. I mentioned it a while ago that the USA Network wanted WWE that USA Network wanted WWE to be more dark and have some kind of romance thing going. So that's why they started doing this angle with Lacey Evans and Ric Flair. Do I like it? Hell no. I think it's dumb. I don't like it at all. I really don't. But no.
That's dark is with stuff they were doing in the Attitude Era.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. We'll see how far it goes though before.
Yeah.
But
I don't like
now,
it.
I don't like it. Yeah. Elliot, what you give Raw?
1.9.
Okay.
All right. It is now time for the NXT POV. Mamma mia!
I'm afraid I've got bad news for you.
He did it wrong. I'm
gonna get a letter from Wade Barrett and tell me to cease and desist.
Elio's gonna get lessons from Wade Barrett. I'm afraid I've got some bad news, and Elio's gonna be like, "I'm afraid I've got some bad news. I'm afraid I've got some bad news." All right, so
is he missing a word or something?
He said it wrong. He said it totally wrong.
No, I said it wrong, but I did that because I was thinking, I'm like, can you imagine if I opened my door one day, check my mail, and I get a cease and desist letter from Wade Barrett?
Oh shit!
Listen, man, we got Ted DiBiase in our pocket, man. Don't worry about cease and desist letters. He paid our fine that one time WWE came at us. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
NXT low points. Elio, let's start off with you. What were your low points of NXT this week?
Okay, low point was the Bronson Reed title rest.
Ooh, yes. What'd you give it?
I gave that a 1.
Okay. Tony?
Yeah, same thing. Tyler Rust versus Bronson Reed and his little lizard. I gave it a 1.
No, but what do you guys think about this Tyler Rust?
I don't know.
What the hell is that?
This just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
See, because this guy, I was looking him up. His name is Rust Taylor. He was in the ROH Pure Championship tournament last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's why I recognized his name when I heard Tyler Rust. I looked him up. I'm like, oh, that's Rust Taylor. Okay.
He's crap to me.
Yeah. No, I gave that 1. I'm just like serious.
Yeah, that was my low point as well. I gave it a 1. I just didn't like it. So I guess we all agree on that one. So what's your high point, Elio?
The point I gave, I have 2 of them. She did me on rough match, and the Timothy Thatcher, Tommaso Ciampa.
Okay, what you
I
give
gave
it?
both 3s.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Tony?
I gave 2 3.5s, which was Thatcher versus Tommaso. That was a really good match. I gave it 3.5. And this one too, we were just bashing these guys. Imperium versus Lucha House Party.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like this match. It was good.
It was
I was
good.
entertained by it. I was like, wow, this was pretty good. And I gave it a 3.5.
All right, I gave 3.5 to Timothy Thatcher and Ciampa. I thought that was really, really good. And I gave a 3 to the Lucha House Party defeating Imperium.
Now, I will say this. I do have a side note on this, and we'd be hypocrites if we didn't even bash this part because we did with AEW. A weigh-in. Really?
Yeah.
Why? That makes
It just doesn't make sense.
At all. This isn't the UFC. Stop with that. I get why everybody that's a UFC fan understands why they do a weigh-in because obviously there's certain classes.
Yep.
But for this, but let me tell you something. Oh my God, I don't want this coming off the wrong way either. But AEW did it worse. And by what I mean by that is because Brian Cage is a monster of a fucking man, and you have Darby Allin. You really needed to do a weigh-in for that?
Brian Cage. Brian weighs in at 265. Darby, okay, your turn. Darby weighing in at 201. Like, what?
Yeah. I'm like, wait, what? No, I'm like I said, we'd be hypocrites if we didn't complain about this weigh-in
of course,
as well as we did with the AEW. But it's for me, for what? That was a waste of time, in my opinion.
Yeah,
a waste.
Let's throw out this highlight. Kaden Catanzaro, Kaden Carter, that move, whatever she did, they didn't even know what it was called. That flip at the end, I was like, wow, that's the most I've ever seen from her.
Yeah,
I mean, Ricochet must be giving us some pointers or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. You know what I'm saying?
Elio, what was your overall?
Overall, like 1.8.
1.8. Wow. All right, Tony.
I gave it a 2.21.
All right. You know, I think I'm the nice guy this week. I gave it a 2.4. I really enjoyed NXT as well. Yeah. All right, Elio.
All right, so now we're going to get into AEW Dynamite.
Kaboom.
Okay, Tony, what do you have for high points?
Oh Lord, the high point I had, and y'all might hate me for it, but it was Santana Ortiz versus Hager and Sammy Hager and Jericho. I gave it a 3. And I'm telling you, this, I think I just topped what I lowered the lowest score for AEW. I think I topped it with this one. I think I beat it. Yeah.
You know,
unfortunately.
You know, I'm gonna save it. I'm going to save what I have to say about what you just said, Tony. I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it.
Sure.
Elio, okay. my high point, Elio. Oof. Because Elio knows where I'm going with this. But my high point, Elio, for AEW was, what are they called? Matt Hardy and Private Party. Defeating Top Flight and Matt Sydal. I gave it a 2. That was my highest of the night. And Moxley defeating Camaroto.
I thought we were doing low point.
No, we did high.
Oh, the high. Oh, okay, my bad. Oh, yeah. I'm all over the place. Never mind.
Yeah. And Moxley defeating Camaroto. I like this Camaroto guy. He got a good look to him.
Yeah. But he's on AEW Dark this week. That's where it's on the first time.
You got a losing record.
Yeah. And but I think Matt Sydal and Top Flight need to be a stable. That's a good team right there. I think they would do really well together.
Yeah,
Elio.
So my highest was Moxley and Nick Camaroto.
Yep.
And that 2.5.
Really interesting.
I just think this guy, like while he has lost, or I haven't really seen him. This is the first time this week, but I don't know. Like he's got that look. He looks like Hercules
Hernandez.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a little bit of Brody. Bruiser Brody. Yeah.
Yep.
I see
so
that.
I think they could do something with this guy.
They can, but I don't think they will. Unfortunately.
They got to do something.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you got? Low points. Start with Rick.
Oh, you started with the right guy.
But the thing of it is, I think I might have the same thing too.
All right. Well, here we go. So,
oh boy,
the low points I have Sting, Darby Allin, and Taz promo, 0.5. Atrocious. I don't get this thing. I don't understand it. The Elite, 0.5. Why are we going to Kenny Omega's house? Disgusting.
Yeah.
Cody defeating Peter Avalon, Pretty Peter, whatever the hell his name is, 0.5.
Yeah.
First of all, I told Elio this. If you're going to be a pretty character, you got to have light colors, like a light blue, a light pink, or whatever. Not black and purple like the fucking Dark Order, you fucking moron. But Tony, the absolute lowest point is 0 that we can give. And I've gotten permission before from people, and I'm getting permission again. A 0 for the Inner Circle versus Inner Circle versus Inner Circle. It was absolutely atrocious. Santana couldn't hit a person if he was an inch away from his face. He missed every single kick he threw, and you saw a good 5-6 inches of separation between his foot and the person's face. Atrocious. Chris Jericho tried to do the lion salt. Disgusting. The guy could not get over.
I went back because initially I was like, yeah, I'm fine with this match. And then I went back to watching. And I said I was going to go back and watch this. But I saw that line, so that was bad.
My God,
it was disgusting. Bad. The whole match was disgusting. There was not one good moment in this match where I was just like, "Oh, this is really good. This was not entertaining to me at all." Sammy and Hagar does whatever the fuck his name is. He was all over the place. This whole MJF picking up the win, and Jericho now are the mates. Come on. This is a 0, and Tony, for the first time ever, I want to put a match in the book. This match was that bad. So I want to put the Inner Circle versus Inner Circle versus Inner Circle. You just made the book. Atrocious. I hated this match. I told Elio this right away. I said, Elio, I got some problems, and I need to tell you about them.
Are you done, Rick?
I'm done. Tony, your low points.
You know what? The same low points you had is the same low points I had. Sting and Darby promo. It was stupid. Dumb. And they're still doing this shit with Taz. It's like, give me a break. Now, let me tell you something. And I haven't heard this from anybody, and I'm fucking a little bit disappointed. Everybody complains about, like, Charlotte Flair. Oh, you're only there because your dad. And I've heard it so many damn times. I'm getting tired of it. Isn't this the same thing with Taz and his fucking son that has the worst facial expressions ever?
Yes.
Give me a fucking break already with it. You want to talk about pushing somebody or putting somebody on TV because they're related to somebody? That's him. I haven't even seen this kid wrestle, and yet I'm supposed to take him serious as a fucking heel? Give me a fucking break. Give me a break. Done. But yeah, no, I have the same ones you had. The Young Buck segment, Cody's match, all 0.5s. It was just bad. I do disagree with you, Rick, with the last match, though. I still gave it a 3. I wasn't entertained by it, but I was paying attention to it more than anything that fucking AEW had in this show.
No, I listen. I get it. It was hard, but this was just. I was not for. I was like, this is the main event,
and this is. Yeah. No, I agree with you. But I was still. I think this was not the most, but this was the only thing that was good on their show.
Yeah. I agree.
And I do got a side note after Elio gets his highs.
Okay, for me, I give it a 0.5. Like, after going back and watching it, that line salt,
yeah,
that just bothered me.
No,
he landed on his head. I was like,
yes, there's no defending that at all. No, but a side note I do have, and I'm not trying to be harsh on this, but -1 when they did the birthday thing for him.
Yes, we gotta stop.
They do gotta stop. I agree with that. But I think what they need to do, and this would justify everything, and which is to have -1 start not being a dick, because I mean, seriously, I can't take Dark Order as a baby face. I just can't.
Yeah.
They gotta be a heel. So I think the best way to do that is, like, how they've been doing this whole thing with Adam Page, is just simply just to have -1 say, I don't want you in my Dark Order. You guys, and they attack Adam Page.
Yeah.
Best way to do it. And then what -1 should say after that, after they attack him, is I'm gonna go into training, and when I come back, I'm coming after you. That way it kind of puts him aside and disappear, and they can still do like little vignettes where they still like looking at -1 as the new exalted one, but at least he's off of television a little bit. And then Dark Order can be the heel, have what's his name? The mask.
Evil
Uno, have him take charge. Like he can look at Evil Uno and be like, and you're gonna be in charge while I'm out training. Best way to do it. I just can't go behind Dark Order as a heel, as a babyface. I just can't. I can't. But I think the reasons why is because of -1. And I get it. I really do. I'm not trying to bash it. I do get it. But Dark Order needs to be heel.
Tony, I'm with you, but I'm gonna put a little twang on this. No, he needs to get out of there. He's a kid. That's it. It's over.
But storyline purposes, I think that would probably be the best way.
But he don't even need to be part of the storyline anymore. Like that's it.
Get him out of that, so that way people can't expect to see -1 all the time. The best way to do is just to have him literally say, "Attack Adam Page," because Adam Page's kind of joint is new, and then have him like he can just say, "I don't like it. I don't want him in it. I don't want him in this." Fucking beat his ass up.
And I agree. That's the way.
I'm gonna come back when I'm fully trained. That's
like when I saw this lineup for Wednesday night, I was like, is this like going to be a whole card of tag team matches?
Yeah.
I want to see a whole show with tag team matches, three-way tag team matches. No.
Yeah.
No, you don't want to see that. But I agree with you. Like this upcoming week, he's fighting Adam Page is fighting Dolph Ziggler's brother. Like that's the match where Dark Order needs to attack him and just be vicious and just beat him down.
Yeah.
And have a huge match and just show that Dark Order is back and being villains and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now another side note that I have, and if you guys didn't hear this, I'm about to repeat it. And I'm just like in disbelief that good old JR actually made this fucking comment. When Cody Rhodes, he was coming out, JR said, "Cody is like a superhero around here." Are you fucking serious? Really? Really? JR.
That was just
like barbecue sauce.
I was just saying how I timed his stupid entrance. It was like past a minute.
It's atrocious.
What the
churlish?
Fuck? It's ridiculous. Jesus.
Anyway. All right. Overall, I gave AEW a 1.1.
Wow. Holy shit. I gave AEW a 1.31.
I went with 1.5.
Wow.
I think it's safe to say that the Wednesday Night Delight is going to go to NXT this week.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So NXT is going to go up 9 to AEW 6. AEW was just god awful this week. I don't know. Well, I do know what they have to do. They're not going to do it though because they got Sting fighting in a fucking street fight. Yeah. Something I don't want to see. Darby Allin is a joke.
And I think they're waiting until Revolution for that, which is at the end of February. That's a long way to go.
Drag this shit out. Oh God.
Unreal.
Well, not to make you guys feel any worse, but it's time for SmackDown Breakdown. Oh man. Let's go. You know what? Let's get the low points out the way because I know there's a lot of them. So, Tony, what was your low point for SmackDown?
The lowest I had was the Daniel Bryan promo. I didn't like it. It was like, all right, so what are you doing? Like, and then as a side notes too, I have right on here, and you mentioned it earlier, Rick, was the fact that there's been a handful of times that they're saying that Daniel Bryan has never won the Royal Rumble. So does that mean he's going to win this one? I mean, they did this segment too, and he mentioned it again. And I'm like,
now, boy. They're saying that the losing streak that Daniel Bryan has been on has to do with him and wanting to push other guys.
Yeah.
I get that. But Daniel, just because you're pushing other guys because you're having a losing streak doesn't mean you get to win the Royal Rumble.
Exactly.
Like, that shit better not happen. He better not win the Royal Rumble.
I know. I know. But yeah, that was my low point. I mean, I just didn't like the segment. But I do get a different opinion on the other stuff. I have a lot of ones, but the lowest was that at a 0.5.
All right, Elio, what was your low point of SmackDown?
You have a couple of low points. Adam Pearce, Paul Heyman. That was 0.5, right? King Corbin, Dominic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why are we still seeing them?
Oh, there was a good thing that happened on SmackDown. Oh, wait, are we done with the low points?
No. My low points
I'm
was
done mine.
Paul Heyman and Adam Pearce, where Kevin Owens attacks Roman and gave that a 1.
Yeah.
Corbin defeating Dominic gave that a 1. Kevin Owens' car promo gave it a 1. I'm just over Kevin Owens. I'm not liking this thing with Roman, and it's dragging it. This is going to be the 3rd time they fight.
Feels like longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. And we still have another SmackDown.
Yes. Yep.
Oh. All right, Tony, your high points?
My high point, though, was Dolph versus Cesaro. I gave it a 3. In my opinion, and I know I become a stickler to this when matches go too long, even though it's good. But this one, I wish it went a little bit longer. It was just too short, but I still gave it a 3. I still was really, really entertained by it. Like I said, I just wish it was just a little bit longer. Not too much longer, but a little bit longer. But yeah, that was my high point of SmackDown.
Elio.
High point, same. Ziggler and Cesaro. I gave it a 3.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. For me, I gave Cesaro and Ziggler a 4.
Wow.
I just love the transition. The transitional moves that go into a finisher are just great. Like AJ and Ricochet, they do the same thing with Cesaro and Ziggler. I gave it a 4.
The one thing about that match too is that something that we haven't seen in a very long time is the quick counts. Well, not the quick count, the count after count after count after count. Yeah, you haven't seen that in a very long time. And like you said too, the transitions that they had in this match in itself for those, that spot. I was like, wow, I haven't seen that in a while, and I still love watching those spots. So yeah.
And for me, some of my side notes, I was entertained by Sasha and Reginald. I thought that was entertaining. I also was entertained by Bailey. I just love Bailey. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Who knew Reginald? Who knew? With all the flow, all those
and I tell you, that's what I have on my side note too, is that I was really impressed with Reginald. And it's funny because if you watch the match again, he didn't lay a hand on her as far as punching or kicking. Yeah. But he was still able to do this match with her. And I'm sorry to say, if it wasn't for Reginald, Sasha wouldn't have been able to do a lot of those spots either.
Yep.
Sorry to say, even though I'm sure Sasha has more experience in the ring than he does, because I don't know much about Reginald. But in this match, you can tell Reginald was handling the majority of this match. And I was impressed by him.
And let's talk about it. The lady in red.
Carb, yeah. Well, I mean, yummy.
Yummy in my tummy. Tony, you have any side notes or anything?
The other one that I have is the Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Funny. He put up a post. Not a post. He put up a poster.
Yeah, with his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, standing against moral injustice.
No, the other one he put up.
The change of my mind.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, I wonder where he got that from.
Jeez. Anywho, but yeah, no, I was at that part. I laughed.
Overall, Tony, what was your overall for SmackDown?
Overall, I gave SmackDown a 1.66.
All right, Elio, overall?
1.56.
Well, I gave SmackDown a 1.8 this week. It's my second lowest. All right, it's now time for Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. Currently, Raw NXT's ahead 20 to Raw's 12 to SmackDown's 8. We'll go with Elio first, and then Tony. Elio, what do you got?
I'm gonna go Raw NXT SmackDown.
Raw NXT SmackDown. All right, Tony.
According to my notes, I have NXT, Raw, and SmackDown.
All right, and for me, I'm going with Raw, NXT, and SmackDown this week. I think Raw was a solid show from beginning to end. There were some moments where it wasn't that great, but overall, I gave it a 2.7, and that's one of my highest points. So I have to give it to Raw. This
I think
week.
That's your highest you ever given Raw.
Yeah. So I have to give it its due. So Raw is gonna have 13 now to NXT's 20 to SmackDown's 8. Tony, let us open up the book.
Yeah, let's get into the book. So those that are new to the show, basically what we do is we put the most ridiculous things that happen in the week of wrestling, and we do it just because, we need a laugh. We need that right now. Yeah. All right. We ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Liv Morgan's cage wedgie. Wait,
it's a lifer, Tony. It's a lifer.
I keep forgetting to take it off. Sorry. Coronavirus.
Stays.
MVP's older brother suit.
Stays.
Jericho and Khan demo.
They stay.
Okay. Drew's dragon breath. He did a promo without a mic and you can still hear it. So it stays.
Yeah, stays.
Roman's choppas.
Stays.
Candace's wings.
Stays.
The way. The
way. Stay. Yeah. Go away.
They'll go away, yeah. AEW rankings.
Stays because you're having another tournament for the women now.
Yeah, which makes no sense. Carmella's champagne shower.
It's a tough one, but they got to stay.
Yeah, they almost did it. They kind of teased us with it. So I think they're going to do it again at the Royal Rumble. Because them two, that her and Sasha are squaring off. Oh my God, Bronson's little lizard.
That stays.
Yeah, no Angelo.
Stays. He did it again. This week.
He went worse. Elias's dookie finger.
They can stay for another week.
Alicia Fox's hair.
We can take it out. We ain't gonna see her again.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while before.
Until next Legends Night.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Or the Royal Rumble, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
That's true.
Oh my God, I can't believe I got to see
surprises.
Huh?
That's true with surprises. Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah. Priest's needle dick.
We haven't seen them, so it has to stay.
It is a needle. Adam Pearce's Batman.
He did it again this week.
He did. And I think he's doing that on purpose because, I don't know how he really sounds, but I think he's doing it on purpose. Or it could be because you guys said it and now I hear it all.
No, he's trying to be Michael Keaton when he was doing Batman. I could hear it in his voice.
Yeah, no, I agree. Ray's tighty whities.
We'll keep it just for now.
Well, we didn't see what next outfit he has, so obviously we'll see. Wait till next week or the Royal Rumble. Rick's blasphemous.
That's on you.
No, you stay. The inner circle, the newest interest, the inner circle versus the inner circle versus the inner circle versus the inner circle.
Stays disgusting. Angry. Ask Elio. I was so angry. I called him up and I said, Elio, this was disgusting.
Disgusting. All right, that's the end of the show. But before we close out the show, I will play a song from my playlist, and it is called the 5-Second Shuffle. Well, it will be Elio versus Rick Serrano III, and best 2 out of 3. And it's just how we ride off into the sunset until next week, where we will go over the Royal Rumble pay-per-view points game and more news that happens during the week. And like I said, that's just how we ride off into the sunset. With that being said, I am your host, Tony Diaz, along with the gentleman,
Elio Canella,
and the third wheel,
Rick Serrano III,
and our intern,
Miguel Cole. I'm from New York, and I will whoop your ass.
Christ. Love, peace, and wrestling. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace out.
All right, you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Yep. All right, here we go.
Are you ready?
DX.
Who said it first?
Ricardo Serrano III.
that was a softball. Here's another one.
Kelly.
I didn't hear who said it first.
Kelly.
Who said it first?
Me.
What'd you say, Elio?
I said Kelly.
No, it's not.
It's Tori Wilson.
No, it's Candace.
Who is it?
Yeah, by Kelly. Didn't she
Candace.
use it as well?
That's not Candace.
Yeah.
That's who sings
Oh, wow.
That's who sings it.
No, that was
That's
Candice Michelle. That was Candice
Candace
Michelle.
Michelle.
Oh, that's Candace Michelle.
I just remember
Really?
Kelly using it.
Kelly definitely used that song.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure she did. Yeah. All right.
That's good. Yeah. All right. Elias?
AJ Styles.
This is an old one. This is a very it's a different all right, put it this way. It's an acoustic version of a wrestler's theme song.
Voices. Randy Orton.
No. How many seconds you want extra? Elio, we'll go with you first. How many seconds you want more? How many more seconds you want to hear this? 2 more seconds?
2 more. Yeah, 2 more.
Okay, here we go. Y'all should have gotten it with that. Acoustic version.
The Rock. The Rock.
No, it's not. Elio, you want to take another stab at it?
I said Randy Orton. That was wrong. Batista.
Yes. Batista. It's the acoustic version for Batista. You can.
I Walk Alone.
Yeah, I Walk Alone. Yep. All right, last one. It's tied up.
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels.
We got it.
That was close. That was close.
Do we have to
That was
go to the
close.
videotape?
Let's go. We
Well, we
might
can't
have
now.
to. I said we do one more. That was too close.
You want to do one more? All right, but we're
Yeah.
still gonna have to check the videotape later. So
Yes.
if it is a tie, then this will
Well,
break the tie. But if
I
it
got
isn't-
Kelly, so I don't care what anybody
That
says.
wasn't Kelly.
Yes, that is.
No.
I bet you $1 million.
For those that can't see, we do this on a video, and I show them just so they know. And it clearly said Candace. It didn't
Candice
say Kelly.
Michelle.
But we'll do one more, right? We'll do one more.
All
but
right,
we
go
do.
ahead.
I think we're gonna have to go to the video.
If we go to the video, Elio got it.
Right.
All right, give it
But-
to Elio.
But if not, this is the tiebreaker. Okay.
Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett. Yeah.
Who said it?
Elio
did.
got it.
Who'd you say?
Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett.
Yes, Jeff Jarrett. That's it.
Yeah. Fine. Kelly theme song. Nonsensicals.
I think you're wrong. We don't own the rights.